Dewan is the Associate Professor of English, Tribhuvan University, and has completed her MA in English from Tribhuvan University, LLM from Nepal Law Campus, Tribhuvan University, MPhil from IACER, Pokhara University, and is a PhD scholar in law and English. Ms. Dewan is the president of NELTA, the Nepal English Language Teachers Association, as well as a practicing advocate in the Supreme Court of Nepal. As a member of the Asian Creative Writing Group, she has extensively conducted workshops and provided plenaries in different national and international forums on creative writing in Nepal from 2008 to 2019, in Vietnam from 2009, Malaysia 2011, Surabaya Salatiga, TESOL 2013, Indonesia 2014, and in India 2019, and many more. In addition, Ms. Dewan has conducted a special school-level-based training workshop on the TPD model to teach poetry in collaboration with the local government of Solukhumbu in 2012. She has also facilitated the international workshop on creative writing at the English and Foreign Languages University, Hyderabad in 2019. The other facilitator today is Richa Regmi. Richa has a master's degree in English and a Cambridge CELTA qualification. She currently works as an IELTS tutor as well as a teacher educator, and has two decades of teaching experience, where she has worked in various levels from the kindergarten to the diploma level as an English language teacher. Richa has been involved with many British Council Nepal projects as a freelance trainer, projects like Project Night, Connecting Classrooms, EDGE, LTEP, and also as an IELTS teacher trainer. She always knew she wanted to be a teacher and has thus started her career soon after completing her 10th standard. As a teacher trainer, Richa has got many opportunities to visit schools in the remote parts of Nepal, which always motivates her to work to improve the students and teachers who may not always be as privileged as many of us. So to start the session now, over to you, Ms. Motikala Subba Dewan and Richa.
Thank you, Sarda. Namaskar and good afternoon all. We would like to welcome you in our session on enhancing creativity and imaginations among students. Before we begin our creativity, we would like to share important things that's about the certain housekeeping rules, and also important sharings about your link about webinars and certificates. The recording of this webinar's link will be sent to you by tomorrow, or you could visit BC's and NELTA's websites, which you could see on the screen. You could copy it. You will receive an email tomorrow with a link to your certificate. You can also type your name in the space and download and print it. You will also receive an email tomorrow with a link to an evaluation and also needs analysis forms, and your feedback will be appreciated. And we'll go to the third slide. It's about the housekeeping rules. And let's go to the next slide about these housekeeping rules. If you are not the speaker, please keep yourself on mute and switch off your video during the presentations for the good connectivity of internet. Use the chat box in case you have any questions for the presenters, and also you can use the raise hand button in case you have something important to share. And we have another about the objectives of the webinar. So by the end of this webinar, you will know about different aspects and features of creativity. Also, you will learn about the value of creativity and imaginations as 21st century skill. And also, you know some ways in which creativity can be nurtured or developed in teaching. Our session is divided into mainly two parts. First part explains with what creativity is, its definition, concept about different features, and use and value of creativity and imaginations as 21st century skill for the learners and teachers. My co-presenter Richa will deal about that. Second part is about practical activities based on all those theoretical concepts, how creativity could be used practically, how to nurture or develop it in teaching and learning. I will do the second part. Time for the session now. I would like to invite Richa to begin the session. Over to you, Richa.
Namaste to you all. Before I start, I'd like to ask you a question. Have you heard of the core skills? Could you quickly write yes or no in the chat box? Have you heard about the core skills? Okay, yes. Hmm. Yes. All right, thank you. It's yes to many of you. So core skills, or sometimes referred to as 21st century skills, are the essential skills that young people need to be fully prepared to live and work in this global economy. Core skills introduce people to new ways of thinking, working, and living in global world. Developing these skills will help young people to shape the future for themselves as well as the future generation. So CDC or Nepal government has also introduced these core skills to the curriculum, and creativity and imagination that we are talking about today is one of those core skills. Next slide,
Um,
please.
Sorry, Moti ma'am and Richa, could you put your presentation on slideshow, please?
Okay. Ma'am, slide share. Previous slide. Uh, the fifth slide. Ma'am, yeah. So the other one, fifth one. Fifth one, please. Ma'am, can you hear me? Moti ma'am?
Yes, yes. Yes,
Yeah,
I
can you
can.
please
The
share fifth slide? Fifth
this
slide.
one, and this one is the sixth, and this one is the seventh. Yes.
Yeah, fifth one. I want the fifth one.
Okay, this
Five,
one.
number
Okay.
five.
Yes.
No, the other one, number five. Yeah. So sorry for that. Uh, Next one, please. Next slide, please.
Again, I would like
I
to
request.
request the presenters, Richa, sorry. Again, I would like to request the presenters to put your presentation on slide share so that the participants can see the full screen. We are getting requests for a full screen.
Okay, okay.
So I request all of you to write what you think creativity is in a few words in the chat box. So for this, I give you 20 seconds. What do you think creativity is? Number sixth slide, please, ma'am. Okay. Yes, so there are many things that have come in the chat box, like thinking and doing differently, imagination, skills, creating new things, something that cannot be defined, okay, something out of box activities, novelty, uh, yes, newness, doing things differently, using new ideas. Yes, so there are many ideas and they are all very brilliant. Next slide, please. Yeah, Moti ma'am, next slide, please. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So,
Already.
yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. These are the features of creativity. So, these are imagination. Creative thinking is imaginative as it brings about something that did not exist or was not known to you before. It is purposeful. Creative imagination is not daydreaming. It has a purpose, it has an objective, which can be a variety of things from, let's say, surviving after your house has flooded out or continuing teaching effectively despite the schools being closed. Um, Creativity is a process that creates original ideas, that is, it has individuality built on it. It may not be new or original for everyone. It may not be new or original for the world, but for you it is new, you it is original. For example, you see the same thing as everyone, but think something different. Then that is creativity, originality. It is valuable. The product or result has to be of value. When evaluating our creation, we need to see how it serves the purpose. We can say that if we want to run a creative activity in the classroom, we need to check the presence of all these features. Next slide, please.
Yes, Richard, this is 7. Yes,
Is it
please go
there?
on. Yes, yes,
Okay.
already.
So, can creativity be taught? Can you share your view in the chat box again? Do you think creativity can be taught? Yes, please write your answers. Not much. Yeah, no. Okay. Yes, not. Uh, yes, teachers. Yes. Okay. There's a mixture of yes and no. So if you are saying no, then maybe we are thinking it in quite a narrow way, limiting creativity to art, painting, or music. You can't, yeah, it is true that you can't teach creativity with direct instruction, but as teachers, we can always motivate them, support them, and enable them to discover their creative talents. Now I'd like to hand over to Moti ma'am to share how we can actually do these things. Over to you, ma'am.
Yeah, I think this is your part. Teacher's role in promoting creative learning. You already described this, Richard?
Next
Yes?
slide. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, teachers can nurture creativity, they can motivate them, support them, enable them. Uh, but at the same time, it can be killed. It can be suppressed if we as teachers do not play the role as of a facilitator to help our children enhance this skill. If we try to if we focus more on accuracy, or if we do not give them space, if we do not give them freedom, if we put them in the time constraint, then again it can be suppressed. Okay. So with that note, I would like to hand over to Moti ma'am, and she would share how we can motivate students and enhance the skill among them. Over to you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Richard. As Richard said, yes, creativity can be taught and learned as a skill. We know creativity is inborn natural talent or ability. Some learners have that, but most of us have to learn as a skill. We have to practice that. We can teach our students to be creative and imaginative. There are many ways. Let's be creative, okay? We have taken this example from my English book, grade 8, unit 5. This lesson is about the holy, but the language function is about teaching prepositions. So we have extracted only one paragraph for activities. This is not the whole lesson. I have highlighted prepositions here with bold. I'm not going to read it. Please read yourself and try to find prepositions used here. If you tell your students, okay, today we are going to learn preposition from this lesson, then your students might not be interested to learn how to make your lesson interesting as a teacher so that your students get motivated and learn preposition. Let's practice, okay? So let's check this paragraph. You take prepositions from the lesson and text, okay? What are they? I have highlighted already, okay? There is of, in, for, on, with, at, and so on. They are repeated, okay, several times. Okay, let's go to the next slide. What kinds of, okay, work we can going to do here, the activities. Let's see. This is a kind of a pictures, okay? We could call it, it's a bubble tables. So how to practice prepositions through the bubble tables? Let's be creative and innovative, okay? First, create a bubble tables like this for students. Place those prepositions from the text in one bubble. You could see there, I have highlighted those prepositions taken from the text, okay? Also, you could add extra prepositions there. I have added some extra prepositions there. So learners may have choices. See in the first bubble where I have placed prepositions from the text, including others. You could see here is the first bubble, okay? This is called the bubble tables. And first bubble, we put the prepositions here. And in the second bubble, you fill with the articles such as a and the. Why I didn't keep here and? Because my later practice, okay, activities will be not there that needed an article, okay? So I just put here a and the in the second bubble, see? And in third bubble table, fill with the nouns, okay? It depends on the level of the students. If for a higher level, you could increase your bubbles, okay? Based on the length of sentence and structure and information. I chose the words, they can be linked with the pictures. You could see how many words are there. Flower, jungle, tree, bush, garden, okay. These are very simple words. We have chosen to okay, give a kind of exercise to our students. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Okay, it's about the simple pictures, because before you are going to do the prepositions practice, first you have to create a bubbles tables, okay, providing the text, then after bubbles create, okay, then after you show the pictures like this. What do you see in the pictures? Before doing any kind of activities on prepositions, you provide a pictures to learners, simple picture like this, considering the level, okay, so that they can easily visualize, share pictures on the screen. If online teaching, okay, then you have to share that pictures on screen. See the picture, this is very simple. Our learners can guess easily about the things in the pictures, okay. Now let's practice, okay. First we taken this passage, okay, from the book, and then after we created bubbles for the prepositions teaching, and we put their bubbles in the bubble.
Moti,
Yes?
I'm sorry to interrupt you again, but we are getting a lot of requests for full screen. So could you please put your presentation on slideshow?
I can't see anything because it's the whole screen it will cover, so I can't see my kind of, I have to read from here. So that's why we usually do like this. Anyway, I'll try my best to do again this, okay? Just do it. Okay, then I'm just talking about that. First we have to provide the text, then after create the bubbles, and then after you have to show the pictures, then after you have to go to the, because to get the slide change, I have to make it in smaller screen. Sorry for that. And I will check again this and make it the big. So we have to give them a kind of a format, okay, how to do it, because for the beginners it will be difficult to put the, okay, just show the pictures and now you describe. It's very, very difficult for them. So you have to provide them this kind of format, okay. In this text, the holy language function, okay, is prepositions. So we are going to practice preposition. Now share the format, okay. We are going to teach this kind of format to our students. See here the format pattern of 4 lines, okay. You could increase lines considering the time and level. See in the beginning, you have to fill the prepositions, okay, in the beginning, choosing from the prepositions bubble, okay. We have 3 bubbles, remember that? And I have placed articles a and the from the second bubble, okay, for the beginners, because they don't know how to use articles. So you can give them article, okay, as a clue, a and the, and maybe they will choose later. If they make the mistakes, we will provide the feedback. That is the different thing, okay. And in the format, for the higher level, we could leave the space blank for the higher level, okay. For the article also, we leave that space blank and they fill themselves the articles. And see the pattern in the last, you have to fill nouns taking from the 3rd bubble, okay. Looking at the pictures and borrowing the words from bubble tables. See the 3rd bubble table. We have to find the words related with the pictures, and when you choose the picture for the task, keep in mind, you have to share words and nouns in the bubble related to the pictures, okay, what you have shown to your students. And that's why I have placed in 3rd bubble these nouns, okay, jungle, tree, you've seen this, no? Here in the 3rd bubble, you could see the words, okay, jungle, tree, wild plants, bush, because these are related with my picture. They are very, very much related. If you are going to teach particular prepositions, for example, at, in, and on for the only for the beginners, then you have to choose the pictures very simple accordingly, so that children can use them and they learn only these kind of 3 prepositions, okay. So now we share the bubbles and also pictures and the format, prepositions, articles, and nouns. Now let's do, okay, the tasks. See, let's create a poem from the picture. This is not a poem, it's kind of a paragraph also, we could say that. But let's see here what teacher has to provide the sample like this first, and then later they can give, teachers can give the different pictures also, but first teachers have to provide the sample, okay. I have chosen prepositions from the 1st bubble and nouns from the 3rd bubble. Learners can follow the sample. It is not necessary that content should be borrowed from the lesson. This lesson is not only teaching about Holi, mainly it is teaching about prepositions. Therefore, you could bring any kind of text for the creativity like this to teach your students. Our concern is students must take interest and be motivated. You will be surprised, no? See the variation of creativity in use of preposition. Now see the creation, what it is. In a jungle, next to a tree, inside the bush, among the wild plants. I see what you can ask. They could easily say it's a tiger, okay? In, next, inside, among, these are the prepositions. A and the, you feel there you find these are articles, and nouns already you found here. The vocabulary we already created from the bubble. So you have to choose the words on the basis of pictures, okay? In this way, you could teach prepositions having fun. Later, you could provide feedback if they have any mistakes in using prepositions, okay? So this idea is actually borrowed from the Creativity in the English Language Classroom, edited by Alan Marley and Nick Piche. So all the resources we have also put in the last slide. So now I would like to hand over to Richa to explicate more ideas on creativity. Over to you, Richa.
Thank you. Next slide, please.
Yeah, slide is already there. This is slide 14.
Okay.
Take yours.
Now let's talk about how we can observe if our students are developing their creative thinking. So if you see these characteristics, then we can say that they are developing creative capacities in them. So let's talk about each of these. Next slide, please.
Yes, already. Yes, please.
Yeah, the first one is questioning and challenging. So if we see that they ask unusual questions, our students are asking unusual questions, or they are asking a lot of how, why, what if questions, or if they are challenging the conventions and assumptions, then we can say that they are developing this capacity. For example, they may ask like, why is the pronoun I written capital? Something like that. Or making connections and seeing relationship, so they can recognize the significance of knowledge or previous experience, or they can apply or reinterpret learning in new contexts. They can use analogies and metaphor. For example, they use two fingers and compare them to themselves, their brother and mother, let's say, and create a dialogue between them. If we observe such activities in them, then we can say that they are developing this quality in them. In visualizing what might be, they can imagine things that in the mind's eye or visualize alternatives. They can see possibilities, problems, challenges. For example, they may wonder how they can write a summary of a particular story just in 100 words. So if you wonder about such things, next slide, please.
Yes, already. Yes, Richa.
Okay.
The 60th slide, please. Slide 60.
So okay, yeah, so they explore ideas and keep options open. So this is playing with the ideas, keeping an open mind, adapting and modifying ideas, trying alternative and fresh approaches. For example, they may keep thinking about the synonyms to avoid repetition of the words, to improvise the piece of writing, or they try to incorporate a new vocabulary they have just learned in something that they are writing. Okay. Next one is reflecting critically on ideas, actions, and outcomes. So they can review progress, they can reflect on their own work, they can reflect on what they have done well, what they could have done, what could have been better. They can incorporate feedback, like for example, they may think that last time my peer had suggested me to elaborate more on the main points of my body paragraph, so have I done that? If they can incorporate that, or if they can provide constructive comments, ideas, explanations, and ways of doing things. The last one is being persistent and collaborative, so sticking with difficulties, not being scared of making mistakes. It's not that you are being creative if you are making mistakes, but if you are not prepared to be wrong, you will never come up with something, anything original. So they should not have that fear of making mistakes. They must be collaborating, working. If you see them collaborating, working together, or sharing ideas and again improving, then we can say that our children are developing their creative capacity themselves. Now, I'd again like to invite Moti ma'am to share some other ideas about creativity. Over to you, ma'am.
Yes. Thank you, Richa. I will first show my slide because there is a little bit difficulties, no? When we make a full, then we can't see our things here. Anyway, observing the creativity of students. Let's start, okay? Activities based on WH questions. Why WH questions? It will help them to be creative and imaginative, make them to think, asking questions. Okay, let's from the chat, okay, from this slide, we see that first you have to divide your students into pairs and provide them pictures and show them, okay, on a screen. If this is a virtual teaching like this, so you have to divide any kind of picture you can choose depending on the level. Okay, let's go to the next slides, okay. What is this? And once you ask students to create a varied, once you show the pictures to them, then you start asking questions to the students, okay, to make many questions from same pictures. And you cannot say, okay, sometime we'll say, okay, this is a kind of a picture, maybe in these pictures I just created the questions, but the students maybe they don't create this kind of questions because our focus is WH question. So we started the questions from the WH, but maybe the students will say, oh, who is this? Is this my, she looks like my sister, or she looks like my brother. So they can create any kinds of questions. But as a teacher, we have to bring them into kind of a format. So this is a WH questions, okay? Questions based on the pictures. Okay, let's go to the next format, okay? See the next slide. And after, first you have to provide the kind of a pictures. Then after ask questions related to the pictures, then you have to show them the, okay, it's a pattern of questions. And when you prepare the questions, okay, they prepared or you prepared, so provide them the sample pattern of tasks like this. So here is a sample pattern of 4 lines, okay. This is a kind of format. Teachers can create any kind of format or activities to make them creative, okay. So let's the questions, okay, about the format. Line 1 is the questions, where are they? The first question is very, very general questions for all persons in the pictures, okay. And the line 2, for the second line, very specific for one person. You see in the formal format, you see the articles and a. So you have to choose the one. Which one do you think it will go with your subject, okay? Because you have to choose the subject from the pictures, okay? Maybe woman, maybe man, maybe girl, maybe boy. You could add there the subject, and also adjective for the subjects also. So adjectives mean maybe the beautiful woman, or smart man, or happy woman, okay, or happy girl, sunny boy, something like that. So adjectives you have to choose from yourself from the pictures. And also with is there, so you can change it. Article there and you choose one, and with also you cannot change there. Keep it is in the sentence, it is in the sentence. Then describe about the person's clothes or physical features, okay, their opinions. So in the picture, so that is for the second line, okay, the questions. Now line 3, what are they doing? That is again the general questions for all. What they are doing at this time. So that is the question. So they have to answer that. And line 4, that is thinking of that line should be always a kind of final one, and could be a statement or could be in your opinion, okay. Let's see what we can do from this format, okay, kind of activities with WH questions. See. This is a kind of a format we found here. And answers, look at the pattern of the answers in green color especially. It looks like a poem, but teachers can bring variation, okay, in the pattern. It depends on teachers' creativity. You can use different types of pattern format. Okay, now answer for the first line. Where are they? Standing on the bus station, looking at the picture, they will say this kind of, okay, answer. And second questions, and answer could be a happy girl, because A and M, I chose A. I know. And happy is an adjective for the girl. And with her white cat, because descriptions, what she was carrying or holding, that is the white cat. So I chose A and one of the characters from the pictures. The third question is, where are they? What are they doing? Okay. Answer is waiting for a bus. And at the last line is statement or final opinion, and thinking of, maybe it could be, what is life? What a life? Okay, what a day, or maybe sunny day or hot day, something like that. So it depends on learners' creative mind and observation. Okay, now I'll read only the green colored sentences, answers. See the creation. Standing on the bus station, a happy girl with her white cat waiting for a bus. What a life. See, this is a description whom you ask to your students. They will say, oh, little girl on fourth holding a white cat. Then ask students to do in similar way in pairs, okay, following the similar questions pattern or different. Pictures you could provide any kind, and when pairs finish, ask them to read out their creation. While they are reading, others should try to guess who they are describing. in pictures, okay? It will be fun, and also they will learn the content and lesson. And I will go to the next slides about the learnings about these kinds of activities. Richard has already mentioned earlier, this type of activities will help learners to visualize the image with real life. So they can imagine situation of real life waiting for the bus at station. See, they can bring connectivity and relationship in their local context. They compare the scene with theirs. They use imaginations and ideas, critical thinking to create these kind of sentences. They reflect their imagination in their creation. See, they will produce collaborative result because they are working in a pair. It will help them to enhance vocabulary, learn grammar, and they also enjoy learning in a team. This type of activity will help them to describe things and enhance their critical thinking ability, because these type of activities will make them involved in cognitive thinking. They make an effort to produce something. Now, Richa, over to you. Share the challenges and some more ideas on creativity.
Okay, thank you. Is the slide there?
Yes, challenges already. Yes, Richa.
Right, I can't see from here. So yeah, there could be some of the challenges because of which, despite knowing that this is one of a very important skill that we need to develop among our students, we are not doing it much. So this could be that one of the challenges could be that our students are too shy or hesitant. It could be because they are not getting enough support, or they are, again, as we stated earlier, they are again scared of making mistakes. Uh, so the other one could be because of the time constraint. So we need to organize the learning process in a way that give time, space, and freedom so that they can use their imagination and originality. Uh, so lack of vocabulary, this can be especially true for second language like English. So they are not, they have things in their heart, but they cannot express them because of the lack of, because they struggle for the, struggle for the correct language, correct vocabulary. So maybe we can give them prompts, as ma'am did in the previous activity, to reduce this problem, mitigate this problem, let's say. A lack of motivation. Everyone does better with encouragement. The way we encourage should be suitable for their level as well as their age. So just saying wow may work for a 3-year-old, but may not for a 13-year-old child. So next slides, please.
I already said next slide. Yes, Richa, go ahead. Some ideas to promote creativity.
These are, yeah, some of the ideas for promoting creativity in the classroom. So allow dialogues that can generate a lot of ideas and view. Do collaborative activities like pair work, group work, role plays, as they allow more talk, more communication. Brainstorming sessions can be fantastic, be it before starting a lesson, starting any unit, or thinking for solutions for problems. And creative writing prompts, as ma'am shared, provide support. When we provide support or clues, then students, it's easy for us to, it's easy for them actually to to express their ideas, let's say, express their views. Next slide, please.
Yes, already some ideas to promote creativity. Yeah.
So if possible, keep your classroom layout flexible so that they have space to move around freely. And visual displays, display the ideas, display the writing or the product around the walls. We do not see this happening much after the primary level. We limit this to primary and kindergarten level, but this only for the primary school. Use of such things can be incredibly powerful to energize the mind, and again, it can help them become creative. And last but not the least, let students become their own teachers. We as teachers must know when to intervene and when to stand back and let the students explore. So if we work as a facilitator, if we work as a helper and let students lead, then chances are there that they develop this skill. So I'd like to hand over to Moti ma'am for further sharing. Over
Okay,
to you.
thank you, Richa. Well said. This is our final activities. Let's do brainstorming. Okay, giving a sample story to learners. Select the story that is considering the level. And this webinar is for the school teacher. So we chose a very simple story and content that could be very, very useful to teach young learners. Not only simple, you have to choose, okay, the story that could be very interesting enough for the young learners. So we'll attract our learners' attention and also motivate them. So check the language also, because sometimes the language words used are very, very complex. They will not understand. So, okay, let's read the story. This is a very popular story in the South Asia, Chinese folktale. It was a story about a monk and a student. Once upon a time in China, there lived a monk. He was a school teacher. He was very lazy, always loved to eat. After eating, he could move barely. Maybe the barely word would be a very difficult word for the young learners. So instead of barely, you could say hardly. Right? Yes, in this way, you can use a simple word for that kinds of difficult words. Okay, let's continue the story. Monk used to sleep at school until the bell rang for the end of the lessons. So Li, a student of monk, son of a poor villager, he was fed up with the teacher's behavior. One time Lee asked to the monk, okay, teacher, may I ask you, why do you sleep in all our lessons? So that was the questions from, okay, the students to a teacher. And what is the reply of the teacher? My dear Lee, during these minutes, I meet with Buddha and listen to his wise words. That's why I try to sleep as much as I can. Monk replied without any embarrassment. So this word is also very difficult, heavy word for the children. So you can use the same, okay, simple word, embarrassment, any same, okay, without any shame. So one time Lee took care of his sick father whole night. He fell asleep at class time. He slept so deeply that he didn't hear the sound of bell, and which woke the monk. When the monk saw sleeping Lee, he got very angry. He took Lee by the ear and started screaming. What kinds of scream? Okay, let's see that. What he said to the Lee, ah, you little weasel, how dare you fall asleep in my class? Lee replied politely, teacher, when I slept, I was with Buddha and listened to his wise words. Monk was surprised and asked Lee, and what did the all-powerful Buddha say to you? Lee told him that the all-powerful Buddha told me that he has never seen my teacher, you, in his life. Okay, see the story. This is very simple and interesting. I hope this story, type of story, will motivate the young learners, definitely. Okay, based on that, now we have to do kind of a activities. Okay, what kinds of activities? Many activities you can do from there also. Number one, okay, activity one, you can ask students to tell the story in their own version, okay? Change the name of characters, country, setting, etc. in a place context. This is very, very simple, okay? For example, monk could be changed into your school teachers. Ask them to give a monk their teacher's name, and Lee become anyone from your class, your friends, or they can play the character by themselves, your name also. So they can give their names in place of Lee. So China becomes, okay, Nepal, or maybe Kavre or Kathmandu, Dolpa, anything, anywhere, and they just have to change the names only, okay? This is one kind of activity that will help them, your learners, to learn the language and content, also improve their writing skill. For the beginners, you have to provide them sample story with the fill in the blanks, okay? And providing such those vocabularies and words in somewhere, and that will be easier for them. So you could start this kind of very simple, not only changing the context and the names in the same story. The second one is, the second activity, bring variation. But how? In place of teacher, you could place student, and student's place, teacher, okay, you can keep the teacher. Other way around, okay, narrate the story. Instead of monk, you can put their Lee, or instead of Lee, you can put the monk. So, but in the Nepalese context, you can change the student and teacher. So this is also a kind of creativity. This kind of creativity activity will make them familiar with the story and content. They have to, okay, read it, revise, go back and forth to know the story. So it will enhance their, okay, learning ability and also kind of a cognitive critical thinking. So let's go for the activity 3. Try to create a mini saga of 50 words, okay, story. Mini saga means always 50 words story, exactly, not 49, not 51. So you write in your own language. How? Look at the examples, okay. I go from here to my slides, check it. And you can do the activity based on verbs. Okay, you choose from the story, ask students to find the past verbs from the story. So we have there many verbs, okay, but we cannot use in 50 words these verbs, but they, whatever they like, which one they feel very comfortable or they can use appropriately, they can choose the verbs from here. See these verbs on the screen and ask students to use these verbs to create a mini saga. It is 50 words story. See the sample. I have created a story of 50 words. I chose only the few past verbs from the story and created this. Okay, these are only 50 words. So Ram listened news on COVID-19. He ate his dinner and started thinking. He fell asleep. He dreamed that coronavirus was chasing his dog, which he loved the most. He shouted and shooed virus. Suddenly he woke up. He found himself on the floor. His dog was licking his ear. See, I use only the verbs, few verbs from the story, not much, okay? Exactly 50 words. That makes students to rewrite, rethink, and also to be creative and imaginative. If not a story, ask to create few lines using those verbs. Or for the beginners, provide only 2-3 words from the story and ask them to create a phrase such as use the past verb ate, okay? Ate food, loved dog, saw old man, like that, okay? In this way, you can teach to use past verbs, sometimes adjectives. You can use the nouns also and create sentence structures. So it depends on the teacher. How do you use your creative mind? How do you use these tips in your virtual teaching and learning? And what could be we learn from these kinds of activities? There are always advantages and benefits for the students, okay? This type of creativity will help learners to improve writing skill, also advance their critical thinking and enhance vocabulary, and also develop creativity. It depends on teachers how they provide format or guidelines to learners. They can bring any kind of variation and be creative from simple to complex. Now, I would like to request Richa to give our conclusion of our presentations.
Okay, thank you. Is the slide there?
Yes, yes, please.
Yeah, so to conclude, we'd like to share that creativity and imagination help to enhance or develop other core skills like critical thinking or communication and collaboration, as they are all interrelated. It helps students become more confident. It can develop their language skill, like all the 4 skills of language. It encourages them to learn, think, and imagine. And as stated in the beginning, developing this essential skill will prepare them for learning, working, and living as a global citizen. Next slide, please.
It's about the resources, yes.
Yeah, so with that note, we've come to the end of the program. These are the resources that we've used for today's program, most of which are from British Council's Connecting Classrooms project, which gives training to teachers and head teachers all across the country in these 4 skills. So with that note, we would like to wrap up today's presentation. Any questions?
Yeah, we are available for questions, yes.
Thank you, Richa and Moti ma'am. We got a few questions here. The first one is from Parmesh Gyawali. He asks, our education system is predicated on the idea of academic ability. In this scenario, what I, as a non-English language teacher, can do to motivate my students to develop creativity in them?
Okay.
So the question basically is asking, so it's knowledge-based. Our education system is knowledge-based. So how can he develop creativity?
And he doesn't teach English. Okay, to motivate our students. Okay. So at this time of kind of a lockdown, it's very difficult to motivate our students through only the online teaching, but to motivate, to provide them the knowledge, we have to continue, okay, to in contact with them, and we have to bring them into the kind of online teaching, and we'll show them some kinds of, okay, motivating kinds of contents, pictures or story or kind of thing. And once they start asking about those kinds of pictures or a story or maybe the poem or an essay, that could be maybe to help the students to motivate them, also take the interest. it's not directly teaching online, okay, kind of a lesson. Okay, now you are going to teach this and that today, please come and. So we can't do that. So first start beginning with a refresher, okay, kind of thing. So first motivate them with some kinds of jokes, some kinds of quotations, or maybe some kinds of pictures or kind of a story like that. Then once they come, and then after slowly you could start teaching relating to those kinds of contents you share with your students. I think so in my point of view. And Richa, do you want to say anything about that?
Yeah,
Would you
I
like to
just
add
would like to
something?
add
Yes.
on that. Yeah, creativity and imagination are not only limited to just art or literature. So if they get a chance to think critically, if they get a chance to share their ideas, share their view, or provide feedback to their peers, then we can say that this skill is being developed in them.
Yes, that's true. Yes, Richa. That's
Thank
very true.
you.
Thank you. The next question. Imagination is a skill, and how do we bring this to a classroom environment where a heterogeneous group of students will be present with a different mental and chronological age? So
Yes.
imagination is a skill, and how do we bring
Yes.
this to a classroom with a heterogeneous group of students?
Yes, we know that because in our context also that this is very genuine questions, no? And because our classes are a multilingual, multicultural, heterogeneous group, we understand that, no? And also different age level, different understanding level, we know that. But how to do it? You have to divide your students into a group, okay? And sometimes in a pair. And one is good, one is little bit, okay, slow in that kind of understanding of kind of thing. And when you divide the group, provide them a different tasks, okay, provide the pictures, or maybe kind of people are interested, sometimes they are interested only to use mobile, some students are interested only to read the books kind of thing. So depending on that, we have to provide them different tasks. And once they start, because if they get any interested or motivated kind of things, okay, in their hands, that are, then they start thinking about that, they use their imagination how to solve it. So we already shared those kinds of activities in our presentation. So if that kind of activities you will provide them one by one in a group, then the students will start thinking about that. They can use their imaginations. Waiting for the bus. So what kind of things happen in our context? They're waiting in the bus. Sometimes beggars comes, okay? So they start using, connect with their real life. So imaginations will come slowly. It doesn't come automatically. So you have to create the environment that will bring them to come into the task, and they become also imaginative. I think so. Richa, would you like to add something?
Yeah, and one more thing to add on, like if you would assign roles and responsibilities, then again, it may be easy for you to manage the heterogeneous mixture of students where each one
Yes.
is compelled to take their part. And again, when they have to think, then perhaps they will. And then when there is a heterogeneous mixture, again, there are some advantages, like there may be different ideas and there may be different brilliant ways of doing things which could not be
Yes.
possible in a homogeneous mixture.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. The next question is related to teaching techniques. Fakhruddin Ahmed has asked this question. Can creativity be imbued in learners by narrating a short story and asking them to depict the story by drawing colorful pictures?
Why not? That's thank you so
Yeah.
much. That's very beautiful questions, no? And we can bring that kinds of things in our class also. We'll do for the young learners, no? Sometimes even master's level, I can do that. Yes, I do teaching a drama and ask students to create a kind of a character while teaching the Oedipus Rex, for example, the drama. So I ask one to do the caricature or mimicry of the Oedipus Rex, no? And another person or student we asked to do as a character of lady, something like that. So these students we can bring those kind of characters creativity, okay? If for the young learners, colors are really very useful for them. They can use the colors for maybe for the beautiful character you use the red color, okay, for this kind of a very tall person, okay, you use the color, this kind of color. So you can create and bring the creativity. It's up to the teachers, okay, how do you manage and include those kind of those kind of things in your teaching. So otherwise, only bringing the colors and bringing the tasks will not be a kind of a very creative classes. So each the teacher, you have to include and input those kinds of things into a student's mind in the environment you have to create. So then after it will be a creative classes. You can do to any level, no problem, primary to master's level, it doesn't matter. Thank you. Yes, Richa, would you like to add something here?
Yes, I agree with ma'am. So as we as she just shared, colors can be using colors can be a very good idea for observing information, and also adapting the books can sometimes make it easier for our students, make it more interesting for our students, and when it is interesting, then they become creative, they become imaginative. So as ma'am just shared, let Shakespeare come out of the book, and let's try different things. Let the students experiment, and let's experiment ourselves as well.
Okay, thank you. The next question seeks clarification on the mini saga, Moti ma'am. So I think this question goes to you. I think in the lower level, mini saga is a bit unsuitable. Students cannot choose to write words for it. Is not it better to ask them the summary type of story?
Yes, that's true. Very good questions. No, I already explained in my slides while presenting that mini saga for the little bit higher level, but for the lower beginners, okay, young learners, we can provide only the chunk of words. Okay, few words we can take from the text and ask them to write phrases or maybe sentences, one sentences. Okay, and they can add, for example, big tiger, okay, coming out from the jungle, something like that, one sentence, okay, and ask students to put other words there. So what kinds of tiger, okay, put the adjective or any kinds of name to the tiger. Bengal tiger or dangerous tiger, okay, came out of the jungle. From which jungle, which place? Maybe the Bardia Park, something like that. So for the beginners, so it's kind of only the sentences and phrases. Mini saga is for a higher level, because to bring the 50 words in the story, okay, write a story, that is very difficult. It's a high level creativity. Anyway, so we can use for the young learners and the beginners only sentences and phrases. You are true. Thank you. Very good questions.
Thank you, Moti ma'am. The next question is also directly been addressed to you. The question is, I believe that book design, use of colors are of the utmost importance in fostering creativity. So please suggest how far our textbooks are supportive to enhance creativity of our students.
Okay, you are talking about the Nepalese textbook, no? We can't say anything about that, but the colorful illustrated with pictures, okay, those kinds of books are very, very helpful for the students to bring the creativity in the classroom. They can imagine. Sometimes the pictures also not drawn very beautifully, no? It looks like a mouse, sometimes it looks like a dog, and they can imagine and they can laugh. So, but the pictures and the colors always help the students to bring creativity in their classes or in writing, okay? And the Nepalese textbook, we can't say anything about that. It is very difficult to say. We are very much kind of in a, what we say, we can't actually criticize it also about our textbook, because it is created by CDC, and we can't say anything about that. But the textbook in Nepalese, okay, these are not related with any kinds of this kinds of creativity, and the function of language and the questions is different, and the text is different, and the functions of language are different. So there are a lot of things we have to improve in our textbooks. There is not any illustrated or colorful books in our text. So we have to request to all your professionals, please give this kind of, bring this kind of textbook for our public children, okay, school children. So we request the government also, if they are in the policy making or kind of a CDC or NCD, so they have to think about that. The new book, textbooks should be, okay, written with these kinds of feedback and recommendations. For the young children, always illustrated and also with the colors. That will help a lot to learn in their kind of enhance their knowledge. Thank you.
Thank you, Moti ma'am. I think that will be our final question. So obviously, we don't teach the textbook, we teach the curriculum. And I think creativity has got a lot to do with not only the arts and with not only creative arts, but also about finding new and improved way of doing things. I think that Richa, if you Richa will agree with me, I think is that isn't that the definition of creativity and imagination? So thank you both presenters for a very wonderful session and for enlightening us on creativity and imagination. Hope to see all the participants again next week. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you very much. Thank you to all. Thank you, Risha, and thank you, British Council. All the participants. Thank you so much. It's really nice to to be interactive here with all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Thank you so
Bye.
much, ma'am.
Thank you, everyone.
Goodbye.
Thank you for the wonderful session. Thank you, British Council.